Garmin's quarterly firmware update for their Edge cycling computers has started rolling out this week, bringing across with it a number of features from the 1050 to the X40 series, which is great to see. Now these updates you'll see today are for the 540, 840, 1040 and the solar variants of those last two, as well as a subset of these features for the Edge Explore 2. Now these features have been in beta for many months. They're now rolling out to the public firmware, which you may have seen pop up to update on your bike computer when you were running late for that bunch ride today as you left the driveway. You can delay these updates until you get home. But coming up in this video, what is in these updates? Let's have a quick look at the summary. For the 540, 840, 1040, what is new? Garmin Coach enhancements and cycling plans to follow. Garmin Share to share workouts, locations and courses between units. Road hazards, the same as what we've seen on the 1050 land recently, and that I've personally found extremely useful out on the road. Group ride enhancements, again, same thing as what we've seen on the 1050 coming down to the X40 series, and road surface types. Now they're defined on the maps and also with upcoming unpaved road alerts. Again, something we saw on the 1050, now trickling down or across to the X40 series. On the Edge Explore 2 here, the little beluga whale, they'll get road hazards, same as what we see on the 1050, group ride enhancements, but only for the incident detection side of things, so when people get in trouble, and road surface types as well. Now in addition to these updates, there are minor changes to the UI. There's an upgraded grade algorithm which will make everyone happy, and you'll see the results of that later on in the video with some road testing, and map management can now be done over Wi-Fi. Oh, but that's limited to the 840 and 1040. Okay, pulling up a more detailed change log, covering more of the details and some additional line items. So added Garmin Share. So back in the day, you used to be able to send routes and courses and things between two devices. That was a little flaky. So much so that that feature was removed from some of the newer Garmin units. Anyway, it's back, it's better, it actually works, it's called Garmin Share. I'll give you a demonstration of that on the bench here in just a few moments. Added group ride awards and climb competitions to the X40 series. Now group ride is a fantastic feature, but it does require everybody to be on the same page or to have the same code entered and be in alignment with firmwares and head units and things like that for your bunch rides. For your everyday bunchy, it's probably not going to be a thing if you're out on a training camp and everybody has the same kind of units. A handy little thing for some in-ride competitions. It's also a very useful way to share routes too. Now, one of the big features to cover with this firmware update is the road hazard support coming across, not down, to the X40 series. I found this extremely useful out on the road. So if you're familiar with Waze in your car where you might be driving along and there's a broken down car or some other police car or something you need to alert other people of, it's very similar to that. Now, when you report a hazard out on the road, that will sync up to the Garmin cloud and then sync down to all compatible Garmin devices that have an active data connection within a few seconds. Not quite real time. Okay, not quite a few seconds either. It takes about 45 to 50 seconds to distribute your new alert, but that's pretty much good enough, I think. And you'll see that in action in just a few moments. They've added wind and stamina adjustments to Power Guide. Now, Power Guide will tell you how best to ride a set course based on your abilities. Well, your abilities that your Garmin knows about anyway. And without wind, I've always said that's pretty useless. If you're doing a time trial into a headwind, your pacing strategy is completely different to a tailwind. So it's now taken into consideration. Good to see. Added surface type support, including on the map, in-ride unpaved road alerts, and post-ride summaries. Something I've found moderately useful, although being alerted that an unpaved road is coming up when I'm on my gravel bike and it's set to a gravel profile isn't all that useful. I may limit that one just to being on the road bike. Another feature now coming across from the 1050 to the X40 series, and that is Wi-Fi Map download support directly on these units. Now previously, to get map updates and add additional maps to these, we had to plug them in via USB to Mac and PC, load up Garmin Express and do the syncing. And that's still going to be the fastest way to get maps on these devices. But if you have a clear Wi-Fi connection with these, you can do it on these units. Now by clear Wi-Fi, I mean you're not at a hotel where you have to enter your last name and room number. These things aren't going to be able to cope with that. If that's the situation you're in with your Wi-Fi, hotspot to a phone, get a direct connection without that authentication and these will be able to update. But again, if you're mucking around like that, grab a USB cable and do your updates. It's going to be fastest, but there is the option now to do it on the device themselves. Next on the list here is something I haven't tested myself, and that's the added revamped course creator. So I'll jump down to the next one, which will make a lot of people happy. And their line item here is updated grade algorithm to be much more responsive. Now, a long-standing complaint with Garmin Edge users is that when they ride up a grade, the information displayed on screen is laggy, incorrect, just generally junky. Now in my review of the 1050, I did put the 1050 up against the 1040 or 840, I believe, on the same course going up and down, and the numbers were quite different. I can confirm after extensive testing, those numbers are very, very similar now. And I was out this week, you'll see in just a few moments, testing that on my roller coaster course. They've also added a base map support for India. They've added gear presets for SRAM 12-speed cassettes a few weeks after SRAM have gone to 13-speed, which makes that a little awkward, but good to see there for the 12-speed. Added QR code for quick link to pair a Strava account to Garmin Connect. Added Garmin Coach Glance, which is handy if you're following a training plan. It's a complete nag if you're not. I will be covering how to turn off a lot of nag screens on Garmin Edge devices in the near future. There is a lot of nagging creeping into these. Hydration, new VO2, new personal records, recovery status. Sometimes we just want to finish our ride and hit save. However, if you're following a training plan, that glance is a welcome addition, and added core search to the search bar. Now there's a ton of other miscellaneous updates and fixes, but those are the key updates you probably want to know about. Alrighty, I've been sitting here talking for quite some time now about these updates. Let's get out on the road and see them in action. Okay, first off with the hazard reporting of a wild animal. There it is. Yes, you can probably hear it in the background. Swooping magpies. Here's the first one of the season. A little bit earlier than normal, but here we go. We're going to report this hazard as an animal. We can hit report, and within a few seconds on the Edge 1040, which I reported it on, it's now on the map. And around 45 to 50 seconds later on my Edge 1050, which I was also using on the bike, you'll see it pop up, bang, right there on the map, indicating that that report had gone up to the Garmin cloud and had synced back down to my other device, which would be the same for any other user with this functionality in the world, which is awesome to see. Anybody riding the trail is now alerted of that magpie that the other rider got swooped. It was actually quite hilarious watching the other rider get swooped. Okay, now riding back towards this, I don't get an alert. I think I have to ride away from it and then come back. But here we go. Just proof the hazard is real. And yeah, the magpie had a couple of goes. And it was some words of discouragement, I guess you'd call it, that I had to offer the bird to get it away. Anyhow, that works just perfectly for magpies. And a little further down the road, another obstruction. This time looking exactly like the icon for the hazard with the Downs tree. Okay, clicking on the report for that. Now, if you don't click on the confirm of report, it'll still go through, just to make things super simple for reporting that. And it pops up on the map on the 1040. There's also another magpie that I had to mark there on the map. But about 40 seconds later, it'll pop up on the Edge 1050 indicating there's an obstruction. Tree down. A little later after arriving home, I pulled up the course creator on Garmin Connect and you can actually see the animals that I had reported. So there's my magpie there, another magpie there, and the tree down over here, reported on the public map, visible in the course creator for Garmin Connect. So I do like this community-sourced information. Super handy. More handy out on the road, I guess, when you get alerts popped up when you're first riding near the obstruction or hazard. But really good to see this working as designed, and I think it's going to be quite popular with this new firmware rolling out to more people who have X40 devices. Oh, and kudos to whoever it was reporting their house as a hazard on the Serenity Loop in Ballarat. That'll expire in a few days. Now to put this updated grade algorithm to the test on my roller coaster of a course with the Edge 1040, Edge 1050 and Element Roam 2 on screen. I've double timed this. Actually, this is 4x just for this section here. And you can see things looking a lot better than what they were with just the 1050. Now the 1050 has had an update as well, but that's not the focus of this video today. Okay, roller coaster section through here. You can see what's coming up on the Element Roam 2. And things looking a lot more responsive than previous. Now, it's never perfect, it's never real time, but it's pretty damn close, and those gradients aren't too far off. Okay, going down this hill, I'm just about to hit quite a steep grade. You can see there in the screen. We'll slow it down. We'll do this one in real time. You can see those numbers do a lot better than the past, I guess. I'd say after about 5 to 8 seconds, things really stabilize. Okay, I'm on flat ground here as things start pointing up, the numbers start climbing. Again, it's never going to be real time, the way these things measure. Okay, up this climb here. Short little steep climb. 13, 15, 16. Bit of an overshoot, but it comes down pretty quick. Roam 2 keeping everyone else in check. 13, 11. Okay, they all start to agree within a few seconds, and over the top. Now, previously, these other units would keep climbing, but you can see it drop down pretty quick now. 1040 is actually a little bit more responsive. The 1050 with this test. Okay, -10. Everyone's happy with that. Yep. And you can see the gradient there on screen. It's quite steep. I'll turn a right turn here, so going from a negative grade down through the gears. That's all the gears I have. And as soon as we start climbing, within a few seconds, all those start climbing up. Now, they're within a second or so of each other. And when things stabilize, they're fine. I'm super impressed with the improvement there on the 1040 especially. The 1050 was always pretty good. The Roam was always, thereabouts. Nothing to complain about. But do note, though, one thing I do love about the Roam is that upcoming grade elevation there on screen, even when it's not in Climb Pro mode. So it's always looking ahead. Garmin, take note. It's a great little feature to have. I absolutely love it when I'm using the Wahoo Element units. And with that, for this section here, gradient looks to be a solved problem. Keen to hear everybody else's experience with the 840 and the 540 as well. Hit me up in the comments and let me know how yours goes out on the road. On to the new Garmin Share functionality on the Edge 1040, sending a route over the 1050. We have to enter the Garmin Share menu to send or receive. Okay, let's send a course from the 1040 over to the 1050, and we'll go gravel lunch. Now, the first time two units will talk to each other, there's an authentication acceptance, which is right here. You accept the PIN key, wait for confirmation. Okay, all good. And the course sends over very, very quickly. Up the top there, you can also forget devices, which indicates that if you send another course over, there's not going to be that handshake required. Testing confirmed. That's exactly how it works. This is years ahead of what they had previously and super simple to share courses, workouts, and locations. A quick look at the on-device map management system map manager, and here we go. There's quite a few maps that I won't be installing. Let's have a look at installing a 21 meg map pack from Hong Kong. Yes, my Asioma Pro MXs have just woken up. Okay, I'll speed this one up. Okay, what's interesting here is that that's now ready to install after it's downloaded, and then it connects to Wi-Fi to then do whatever it's doing here. Okay, installation done. Hong Kong now installed. That did take a little while. So installing a larger set of maps would probably take, well, quite some time. Yeah, 3 hours for Africa. Let's not do that one. Let's remove that one. Again, a few minutes to complete this. And while we're here, I'll refresh the Trailforks data. So overall, definitely not the fastest way to get maps and things updated, but it is an option, which is good to see. And finally, we'll have a look at the Garmin Coach Glance, the little whistle symbol there that you may see popping up in a few places as they put this in a more prominent location on your Garmin devices. I have no training plan. I then click on Find One. It then tells me to open my phone, which then steps me through selecting and creating a training plan. Okay, we'll go Improve Fitness. We'll accept all responsibility. I'm a cyclist. Let's set up a plan for that. Let's take Monday off. And let's do our long rides on Saturday and Sunday. Go the weekend. And we'll finish this on January the 1st, 2025. All right, from there, we look at the plan overall. We click on Create. And away we go. It will do it should be a little cyclist there, I think. It'll do its thing. Add to navigation bar. Okay, this just sets it up within your Garmin Connect profile. Replace the challenges. Okay, good to go. Excellent. There's my week 1 of 17-week Garmin cycling coach plan, which involves a lot of base work. Okay, I guess we're a few weeks out. A few being 17 out from whatever it is I wanted to achieve. Okay, from there, once everything has synced over, I can scroll down and I've got my coaching plan right there, which I can click on, look at today's workout. And if I want to add that on show on home screen, I can toggle that on, and there we go, front and center on the home screen there for my training plan. That's it in a nutshell. Okay, so there we are, all the details and some hands-on testing of those new updates to the Edge X40 series. The two standout features for me was that updated grade algorithm appearing to behave itself now, and the road hazard alerts. I'm keen to see how busy they get. Now, a lot more people will have that functionality with their X40s. Oh, and no, there's still no bell for these either. I don't think we'll get one. The speaker just isn't loud enough. And with that, we'll leave it there for today. Thank you for watching this one. Hopefully you found it informative. If you had, hit like, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.